Jai Bhim, Jai Mul Nivasi, Jai Savidhan, Jai Bharat, and welcome you all once again to MNT News Network's special primetime session. Today, as it is Sunday, and as you know, every Sunday we are organizing the sessions in English language, whereas rest of the week, we are organizing in Hindi. And as you all know, 6th December is approaching, and Dr. Ambedkar's death anniversary is approaching, and everybody remembers on this specific day, 6th of December, and MNT News Network will also would like to pay homage, pay tribute to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So today we are going to discuss about his mission, about his work, and where we are today, and what should be done considering his mission. What is the role of his followers, and what everybody can do. So that is what we are going to discuss. And today we have with us eminent specialist Mulnivas Ajit Vasu sir from Canada. He is a technical director in animation production, and he has joined from Canada. We will be getting very vital information on this particular topic. We will try to understand from such a distinguished guest speaker where we stand today, and try to understand what exactly was Dr. Ambedkar's mission, and did we really understood his mission in the correct spirit, and are we following it, and all, and a lot we will discuss in this today's session. So though it is a half an hour session, but we will try to capture all the points that should give justification to the topic. So without wasting time, let me welcome today's guest speaker, Mulyavasi Ajit Vasu sir. Sir, Jai Bhim sir,
Jai
and
Bhim, Jai Bhim, Jai
yeah,
Mulnivasi, Namo Buddhaya.
yeah, now Buddha sir, and welcome you to MNT Network. First of all, we would like to thank you for sparing your valuable time with us once again.
Oh,
And
it's an honor to me because at this special occasion of Baba Sahib's death anniversary, uh, I'm getting a chance to speak to all our viewers. I'm really honored, and thanks to MNT for that.
no, sir, most welcome. And sir, as the topic says, basically 1956 to 2022, almost more than 66 years we had passed. And Dr. Ambedkar, within his lifespan, he had spent a lot. Within his short span, he had done generations work. What one can see. Basically, first, we would like to hear from you based on your entire experience and social work and your understanding and the literature that you had gone through. How do you feel what Dr. Ambedkar's mission was in your way, or how do you feel, or how do you think, what exactly was Dr. Ambedkar's mission? Please, sir.
See, what I feel from various opinions from different activists and different people of our community, people have not yet rightly understood what Baba Sahib's mission was. We know that Baba Sahib was completely, encompassing his whole mission as in a term called caravan. I mean, I have brought this caravan up to this position or this place, and if you cannot take it ahead, at least please don't pull it back. That was his last message. But what was that caravan and what was his mission? People have not yet understood rightly. Baba Sahib never, uh, you know, took effort, or he was not mainly aiming at giving us a financial upliftment or economical or those kind of, financial power. He knew that the financial power is all can be created by the people who has a positive attitude, like if they are having a plus state of mind. In all his speeches and writings, you can read it from the volumes. Baba Sahib was always stressing on one point: you have to become free in mind, and you have to be free in spirit, and you don't. I mean, there is a particular chapter. The heading of the chapter is in the English 17th volume. I think in the part 2 that there is a chapter number. I think it's 13 or something. Don't stop without manhood. Means you have to become full human beings. That was his message. Because see, when you think of other people in the world, around the world, like say for example Jews, I'm giving an example, they were actually wandering from places to places, countries to countries, without any capital in their hands. They were just going, but their capital was their mindset, their mentality, that positive attitude. They were saying that we are the chosen people. We are chosen to govern or rule the other people of the world. So that was the positive mindset here. I mean, they were having, and because of that mindset, their mind was actively thinking and creatively thinking and making use of all the opportunities, and they were successful. They became successful in everywhere, wherever they went. So their only asset or the only capital with them was the positive attitude. So that is what Babasa was also stressing upon. You first of all come out of that slavery mentality, because your minds are enslaved. Once your minds are enslaved, whatever help you are getting, whatever external help you are getting, it is not going to work for a long time. Maybe some supports from the government, maybe some schemes, or maybe some financial assistance from the government. It will not work, because you are not positive in your mindset. You are actually slave. You are having a slavery mentality. It has happened obviously because of a long term slavery history, because we were enslaved for around 1500 2000 years. So that mindset has crept into everybody's mind, and people are thinking in a defeating mentality, self-defeating mentality. So even if you support somebody with some financial assistance, or even if you support with some reservations or those kind of things, it will not work for a long time, unless and until your minds are free and came out of the shackles of the caste system. For example, even if you are at the top of the topmost position in the country, for example, there were people who came from our community as presidents of India, and they were also having that inferiority complex, or they were having that complex, and they were having that inferior attitude wherever they went. And they were barred from certain areas, like Ramnath Kovind was barred from Puri Jagannath temple, and he didn't complain. He was not having any hesitation. He was not. So that is the slavery mentality inside them. So for such people, I hear from many people saying that, okay, our problem is because of the financial financial inability, or we are not having enough financial backup, or we are not having land, or we are not having education. So people are analyzing in different ways, all in the physical tangible ways, but nobody is thinking about that mental or spiritual side. That is the sharpness of Baba Sahib. Baba Sahib was rightly pointing out, unless and until a man is fully having charge in his mind, he cannot create his own surroundings. He cannot create a good world out of for him. So his effort was in all the speeches, all the talks, all the writings: liberty, equality, fraternity, and social justice. There is no financial aspect is mentioned here. He knew that those values are more important. So then, if those aspects or those values are achieved, automatically all the other physical well-beings of the people will automatically, it will accompany. So every time he wanted our people to be coming out of the enslaved mentality, or that mental slavery. He knew that these reservations are not going to work for a long time, because it is only a governmental activity, or an arrangement. It's a temporary arrangement. It will not last for a long time. It will not last forever. He, in his speech on the next day of the conversion, the Great Conversion, he in his speech he was telling that we are not going to benefit for it for a long time. They can change it at any time, and we are seeing it in front of our eyes. They are manipulating it like anything, and the reservations are are almost nil. You can say it is only on paper and it is not going, it is not working. All the public sector undertakings are, all the public establishments are privatized, and they have taken back to the Savarna hands, like what was happened in the Manusmriti time. Now every asset or everything of the country is now getting owned back by those people who were ruling us in the Manusmriti time. And we are ripped off from all the resources. We don't have land, we don't have jobs, we don't have, and schools, nearly 2.5 lakhs schools public schools have been closed, like government school has been closed. And who is suffering out of it? It is our people, because we don't have enough financial capacity to go to the private schools. So like what has happened in the Manusmriti time, that time it was by Manusmriti we were cut away from the education, but now they are doing it in a modern style, and they are cutting it off. And the everyday the prices of everything, or the cost of life, is getting so much up, so that people can't afford to go for higher education or anything. And in many cases in the rural areas, people are stopping their children from going to school, and telling them to go for some manual labor. So slowly and steadily, we are again going back to that old condition. Why it has happened is we have wasted it's a lot of time. We had long time, but we wasted. We were still trying to reinvent the wheel from the scratch. Baba Sahib had studied and given all the clues and all the directions and what is to be done, but our people again were trying to analyze the things according to their limited knowledge, and arriving at some wrong conclusions, that this may be the cause, this may be the cause. Maybe you have to make more business, we have to become more financially stable, you have to go for education, and we have to go for all those kind of things, and that will solve our problem. No. To those people, I have one thing to tell. Baba Sahib didn't have any shortage in education, because he was the most educated person at that time and even today in India. Nobody has achieved that level of education before him or after him. And so there was no shortage in education for him. And for the financial stability also, as an individual, he had the necessary financial stability, and he created that, he achieved that because of hard work. He used to do the practice, the law practice, even out of the political activities. He was doing all those things. And he built that Rajagriha and many other colleges. And his personal library was the biggest library, individual library in Asia. And the way of life, his life was perfectly in a highly dignified, decent way, which everybody can make a model out of it. And again, for the respect, he had the respect for everybody, from everybody. The day when he was coming with the draft of the constitution, people automatically stood out from their seats. So that was the respect he earned from. So what was his motivation to get out of Hinduism when he had all the other things? He had everything. All these, the present followers, they are analyzing these aspects. If we get this one, we will become high. Even if we get this one, we will become up. He had all these things already, but still he wanted to get out of Hinduism, because he knew that the complete freedom or the complete emancipation of a person will happen only if he is free from his mental slavery. And that is the reason why he got out of the caste system, because caste system is pushing people to certain slavery levels. This graded inequality are actually graded slavery. So anybody who is not a Brahmin in India is in some way or other way a slave in his social life, because social life is the life. That is what governs all the other lives of you. You may be having a political life, you may be having a financial life, you may be having a professional life, you may be having any other lives. But all these are only certain reflections of the social life. So if the social life, in the social strata, if you are on a lower level, you are a slave. Whatever you have, that doesn't mean anything to you. So even if you are becoming a millionaire or billionaire, but that is not going to happen like that. Unless and until you are not free in your mind, you are not going to become a millionaire or a billionaire. Even if you are a millionaire or a billionaire in India, but still you are accepting a certain level of lower status by yourself. Okay, I am below Brahman, I am below Kshatriya, or I am below Vaishya. That way he is accepting a certain defeating mentality. That is what is to be first cut. It has to be eradicated from the minds of the people. Then only their minds will start working positively and will use all the opportunities coming in their way more creative way. Otherwise, they will just in a survival mentality, like whatever they are getting, a stipend or a scholarship or some salary, they are just surviving with that. It is not going to work. And what happens is, after a long time, after slowly and gradually, whatever food you are getting or that small survival input you are getting, they will slowly cut it slowly, and finally you will have a natural death. And that is what is going to happen now. So the only way, the first and foremost thing is, you have to identify the root cause. The root cause is your slavery in social life. And that slavery mentality, if it is to be removed, then you have to come out of that root cause. Cut the root cause, like Buddha was saying. Whatever is the cause and effect, if the cause is cut, then the effect can be removed. So the root cause is the slavery, and that is caste system. You have to come out of it. That is the first step everybody has to do. And that is, Baba Sahib had shown that correct direction, what is to be done. You cannot rely on this government safeguards for a long time. The only stable thing is you have to come out of this slavery. And he has shown the way. And that is why he had converted to Buddhism. Unfortunately, even though we had so many leaders and so many activists, nobody was giving enough attention or enough focus for that getting out of Hinduism. Nobody was, preparing or persuading people to get out of Hinduism. Everybody was playing inside, keeping inside the Hindu fold, and then doing other tricks, like maybe political power, maybe some other power, this power, that power. No. The first thing was to get out of Hinduism, get out of the caste system. That should have been the first priority and first agenda, because that was the place where Baba Sahib had stopped his caravan. To take that caravan forward, that was the only direction possible. And people did not do that. Maybe I'm a little harsh. Bahjan Samaj Party, that was one of the biggest expectations in our minds. They also was keeping that program to a last moment. And Mayawati ji was also telling that same thing. Unless and until I become a prime minister, I will not do this. I can do it after prime ministership. No, the logic should have been the opposite way. She should have done that one, and then she should have become a prime minister by this time. She should have made the people all over India, or Benji could have done that when all over India. And if she had given, a declaration that I am going to change to Buddhism, then all the followers throughout India should have done it, and that would have given a separate, power or a bargaining power or a position to her, and she should have become a prime minister by this time. But instead, she thought in the opposite way, and she neither became Buddhist nor became a prime minister. So the way people analyzed Baba Sahib was not right. Now, when you come to the present situation, hopefully, there is one small movement which I'm witnessing by sitting in Canada. Sri Rajendra Pal Gautam, he is doing that process along with many other our bhikkhus, and people are there. They are actually pinpointing to that particular key strategy, like getting out of Hinduism. That has to be the first, because that is the root cause. When a doctor is diagnosing a problem, he has to give the medicine to the root cause. Then only people will, or the patient will survive. So that is a very positive movement, but there are threats for that, because around 9 states of India had already passed the anti-conversion laws. They say that it is a conversion law against forced conversion. No, it is just on paper. But eventually, what is going to happen in the present India is, even if somebody by himself, by his own conviction, if somebody is getting converted to Buddhism, then also these people will go there and threaten this person and will make him accept that it was a forced conversion, and then whoever was assisting him will be going to jail. So that is the strategy they are going to do. They say that it's only anti-conversion, forced anti-conversion bill, but no, it is going to stop the conversion, because they don't want the people to escape from their clutches, because the Hindu majority is working only when the OBCs and SCs and STs are below their control, and they don't want these people to escape from their domination, because when they are escaping, the Hindu majority will collapse, and it is a very fictitious majority, and it will collapse. And nobody, I mean, they know the threat very well, and they are making every possible steps to stop that, and they are creating a lot of stories in the social media that even if you go there, there is also caste system. If you go somewhere else, there is also caste system. Then why are you going out of this caste system? Because they want to keep the people in this fold itself. So there are that Hindu Rashtra building is, gaining the momentum, and we know that Baba Sahib had warned us. Hindu Rashtra, the formation of Hindu Rashtra should be stopped by all our efforts, because if it happens, it will be a disaster for India. And that was his message. And unfortunately, people did not follow Baba Sahib to his full extent. It is just like a leader is leading us to a path, and say for it is 10 miles, and he is going in front of us, and at the 8th mile we just stop there, and the rest of the 2 miles he is going by himself alone. This is what has happened. Only the people of Maharashtra, our Muldivasis of Maharashtra, only had supported Baba Sahib and gone to that. Had all the other states followed that same process and that momentum, this would have been a totally different country by this time. So the people didn't understand him, or people didn't follow him till the last, till him to the last.
One more, in many of his speeches, he had given, means his expectations also he brought forward, or specifically he had given directions, or he had expected something from the most intellectual class to pay back, or to guide the society, to bring the society from the fold they were left. He himself got it. He himself came out of that one, and also expected his followers, mostly the intellectual class, to guide the society. So today, as far as the intellectual class is considered, how do you see? Are they really paying back to society? Are they really making aware of their brothers and sisters who are left in the villages? Are they going to see their particular places, and they are means trying to bring, or make trying to bring them in the brightness fold, rather than keeping them away from the main social fold? So how do you see this particular today's intellectual class in this perspective of his expectations? Because in last speeches in 1956 and around, many times he came forward that I expected this from this class, and
They
I have not
betrayed me.
seen.
They
Yeah,
betrayed me.
betrayed me.
Yeah.
So how do you see this correlate that particular expectations in today's scenario?
See, it is maybe as I said earlier, it may be due to the historical uh, slavery mentality. our so-called intellectuals, see the way the word with the intellectuals, we normally, people will think that, okay, those who have taken higher education or gone to bigger education, school education, college education, university education, or professional education, those kind of things are, that is what people think, that intellectuals, but they are, that is not what Babasaheb meant by the term intellectuals. Intellectuals means they should use their intellect for the upliftment of the society, and also he said uh, the uh, the ultimate aim of human existence is the cultivation of human mind. So in that definition, I don't think many of the people are working in that direction as intellectual, rightly speaking. They know, they might have read Baba Sahib, they may be giving a lot of speeches, lengthy speeches, but I don't think many of the people are aiming at uh, getting out of the enslaved Hindu caste system, because they are in a survival mentality. So many people are still thinking, those who have got the jobs and all the governmental jobs and all the positions in the last generation, they are still thinking of their children to again go in that particular direction, and without losing the reservation, how can I go like this? Because nobody ready to take a risk, because they don't have anything to survive. That is another thing. They don't have anything to survive. So unless and until you don't have a job, you don't have even land power. So they are in a fix that they cannot take a strong stand. Okay, I'm ready to forego this one. But the main thing which I want is the manhood, or the I want to become a human being first. From the slavery, I want to become a full man, and nobody is thinking that way. Maybe there is a very small minority, maybe a 5% or 10% maximum, maybe thinking in that lines. But the majority of our people are still thinking of, somehow I need to survive, somehow my children has to survive. Unless and until there is no job, we will not be able to survive. So better, even if it is a slavery, even if it is a life which is equal to a dead life, I'm still ready to continue in the whatever that dirty pond where I am in. So they are not taking the initiatives or the risks to get out of, or to mobilize the people to get out of Hinduism. Nobody is aiming in that. Even the politicians, our own politicians, how many politicians are aiming in forcing the people or persuading the people to or teach the people to go out of Hindu caste system? So that is the mentality, because they want to, it is just like a survival mentality, because uh, at certain time survival becomes more important than revolution. That it is a very dangerous phase, because you are forced, or you are constrained to such a condition where you will be made to think that I need to survive somehow. So that is how all the life conditions are tightened so much, that you are now finally you will give up your revolutionary attitude, and finally you will get constrained to a survival mentality. That is what is going on in many people's mind, and that is very dangerous, because eventually what will happen, all the forthcoming generations will go back to the old slavery. So the only the temporary upliftment we got from the British education, or British the thoughts about liberty, equality, fraternity, or liberation, or there is a better world, or there is a world out of this caste system, people first time got a light in their minds, and that is also slowly fading. I'm not becoming pessimistic or anything, but I'm giving the warnings to people. So unless and until you get ready and become alert to the grave situations which you are facing, we will be gone forever. So what we have to do is, first of all, mindset, in the at least in the mindsets, in the mentality, you have to come out of Hinduism first. In your culture, in your home culture, you have to come out of Hinduism first. and at least in practice, in your daily life, you have to become a human being first, and then making it a recordical or a mass conversion or those kind of things, you can do it later on. But first of all, be ready, get out of that mindset, at least in your household, in your house, in the minds of your children, in the minds of the family, in the minds of your relatives. Make that change first, and the other rest of the changes will happen. It will follow. So that still is not happening enough, because people are still going back to the age-old caste system, those Hindu belief systems, Hindu festivals, and those kind of things, and their culture is again going back. And again, one more warning to those who are going to the Buddhism without understanding Buddhism is also doing that same mistake, because they are also putting Buddha as an idol and again doing the same, copying the same practices, whatever was happening, whatever they were following in Hinduism, and then just copying it that in their households. The only difference is the murti has changed, the idol has changed, that's it. And Buddha was never in favor of idol worship, because he knew, he warned us many times that worshipping me is not going to give any benefit to you unless and until you develop your own pragya on your body, the moment to moment awareness on your body, and get out of the make your minds free from the suffering. And that has to be a self practice, personal practice. By looking outside is not going to help you. And if you don't know that real gist or the essence of Buddhism, just by becoming a recordical Buddhist is also not going to work out, because you are again making the bhikkhus, they are actually teachers, like priests. No, they are not priests. They are just teachers. They are showing us the path. And Baba Sahib was very, very clear on that particular thing. He never wanted the bhikkhus to be treated as priests, because it is copying. It will be just like copying Hinduism, and that is they cannot become a priest class by themselves. And every individual should be a Dhamma practitioner, and they should preach the Dhamma. They should preach the eightfold path in their households, even if there is a bhikkhu is available or not. So that is the mindset, or that is the behavioral change. Paradigm shift has to be done in our households. So at least this movement of converting people, he says that by 2025 his target is to make 10 crores people as Buddhists in India. I'm hopeful that it will happen. If that happens, it will be a very, very big change, and that can change all the equations, all the political, social equations in India. And that should have been done even before this. I mean, we are already late, but better be late than be never. That is what I feel. And those people who were supposed to do it in the past, they didn't do that. At least a person is now taking an initiative, and he should be given all the supports. If he is also failing, somebody else also has to come and do the same thing, because that is what Baba Sahib was aiming at. He said that India should be made Buddhist, or Bharat ko Buddhamaya banana chahta hu main. He wanted to make what does it mean? Because the culture has to be changed, even on an individual basis, family basis, social basis. That culture has to be changed. Then only people will come out of the Hindu culture and that caste culture. So that way we can again think of marriages across our subcastes, because as Buddha was rightly saying, all these castes are like rivers. Once they are all flowing and they are merging into the sea, their individuality, their identity will be lost. So the caste will all get lost, and that will become a total restructuring of the society. And at least for us, it will be a big change. We should have done that, and we don't have any time to lose. And sooner the better. We have to do that one, and get out of Hinduism has to be the first and foremost step. All the other financial achievements, educational achievements, land, all those things will come once we are a solid power or a bargaining force, and that is what is to be done.
Right, sir. So, as you pointed out that in 1956, when he embraced Buddhism and shown a path to his followers or to his activists. So today also they should not forget what and how he anticipated the path to come on the right path to become from slave to a ruler or to a human being there rather than
Yeah.
that. So if you have to become a human being, then if you want to get your own all the rights, then definitely that creativity should be there. So the current responsibility of each and every Ambedkarite who call themselves as an Ambedkarite is to make others who are who are their brothers, who are their sisters, and who are facing problems in villages. We have to make them a human as well, and
Yeah.
to make them human as well and bring them in the right path. We have our own responsibility. We have our own keeping aside our own problems and responsibilities. Its responsibility is duty of each and every followers to go back and pay back to the society in any form, in any service or any way they can make our brothers as a human, and they bring them in the right path of humanity and
Yeah.
show them the right path as pointed out
Yeah.
by Dr. Baba.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So it was a nice time, sir. And though actually we are towards the end of the session, but you have pointed out many things in your overall presentation. What was Dr. Ambedkar's mission and how he thought of bringing the unhuman people to the human fold in his directions and in his path, the way he had shown it. So definitely, the his followers should think in this particular perspective. They should pay back to the society. They should show their intelligence and make other people. Almost means more than 85% people are there who are still slave. So if we want to make them away from their slavery, or if you have to shield their overall slavery, then definitely.
Yeah.
We have
Yeah.
to
The
move.
one thing everybody should think at this point is they should ask to them why Baba Sahib quit Hinduism. That question everybody has to ask in their minds and find the answer to that. Then no, then they will get a proper direction. Okay, what was his caravan? What was his direction? In what direction he wanted to lead us, and what was the motivation, or what was the internal instincts for him to get out of Hinduism. Understand that. Then people can understand Baba Sahib right better.
Right.
Ask that question constantly in your mind. Why Baba Sahib quit Hinduism? Because he had everything else. What people are dreaming of, all these things, are he had all those things at that time. But still, then why he had quit Hinduism? Why he left Hinduism? And that question he has to, everybody has to ask in their minds, and then learn, then read Baba Sahib, then quickly learn Dhamma, and then teach others, and do this in a more intensified manner, and add the momentum to this particular initiative. And hopefully by 2025, if we can make that many people get out of Hinduism, it will be the biggest thing, or the biggest payback to Baba Sahib and payback to the society.
Thank
Yeah.
you very much, sir, for
Thank you.
giving your valuable time and your valuable directions towards your understanding of Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar's vision and what the present generation should do to show the path to the upcoming generations.
Yeah.
So, thank you very much for joining
Thank you.
today.
Thank you
It
so
was a
much.
nice
Thank you
time
so
with
much.
you. Again,
Thank
we
you.
will meet sometime on different
Yeah.
topic, and hope you will again join with everything in that person.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, sir. Jai
Jai
Bhim, Jai
Bhim, Jai
Mulnivasi.
Mulnivasi, Namo Buddhaya.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you very much. Yeah. So it was only was Ajit Vasu sir. He had joined from Canada, and he had expressed his views, what he felt as far as the Baba Sahib's mission was considered, and the roles and responsibilities the people has to carry forward in paying back to the society, in paying back their time, talent, and money to bring their brothers in the main fold of the society. So all the viewers, all the people who are who were kept away from the main fold, they should think in this particular direction, and definitely they will get the path of Dr. Ambedkar and what his mission was, and how we can bring a change. So thank you very much for joining today, and tomorrow once again we will meet at 8:30 p.m. With one more topic in Hindi. Be there, and thank you very much for joining today on this specific occasion of paying tribute to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar on his death anniversary. Thank you very much. Jai Bhim, Jai Mulnivasi, Jai Samvidhan, Jai Bharat.